Good day, it's the 17th of June 2025 and I uploaded a few videos today. I hope you enjoy them, but things are happening at a very fast pace, and after all, the name of my channel is Real True Education, not fake news, and you can't get proper news, as you know, and in a way that's a good thing for me. So the big news is now that the Israeli-Iranian conflict has escalated into an unbelievable state. Now, the Israelis, I've listened to Benjamin Netanyahu speaking, and if you don't know who he is, you shouldn't be here at all. You're not at the races at all. It's amazing how many people you can name a name like that and they don't know who you're talking about. I was a guard in Kevin Street, and I used to go into Catherine's Bakery. It's now closed, on Thomas Street. It was just off Thomas Street there, beside St. Catherine's Church. And there'd be baking there. We'd go in for the heat in the morning. But an old boy there, an old baker, Johnny Lawler, that's his real name. He was a gentleman, he was. And he used to say, "You're the only man can come in here that I can't talk anything." They wouldn't know. He'd be talking about Frank Aiken to the guards. And even if he mentioned Michael Collins, they might know it and they might not. And they might name the President of America. I don't know. And he'd talk about Churchill. I don't know. Most of them wouldn't have a clue. But now there'll be a few, and there's always the exception. But I'd know, and he said, glad to see you coming in. So the thing is, Benjamin Netanyahu is the Prime Minister of Israel, and there's an international arrest warrant out for him, and the judges that issued the international arrest warrant have been sanctioned by Donald Trump, and their banking services have been blocked. I think that's hilarious. Anyway, but the Gaza thing is not hilarious. The Gaza thing is a desperate, human, cruel tragedy, and that has to be said. But my job is to give the real situation. So Netanyahu claims that Iran has a bomb. They're getting a bomb almost ready. And he says we can't let them get a nuclear bomb. And it must be understood about Israel that Israel is such a small country that one bomb would wipe it off the map. Excuse me. One bomb would leave it gone because it would contaminate the whole place. So he says we can't let it get a bomb. Now, the EU is on Israel's side, and yet they allow untold thousands of undocumented migrants, most of them from Muslim-type countries, who are potential terrorist material in the future. They let them into the EU and actually welcome them. And the Irish government, and Roderick O'Gorman is still a TD, he sent out notices in Africa welcoming them to come to Ireland. So this is the conflict and the crazy nature of the EU. But anyway, Netanyahu opened fire on Iran. And he's taken out a good few facilities. And in his speech, he continually made it clear that he expected Donald Trump to come to his aid if Iran goes to win. And I think that's the case. Now, Trump was trying to get the Iranians to have a chat and to enter talks. And I think in hindsight, they'll regret not doing it. I think it was an opportunity missed in a way, though I'm not surprised. Because them Muslim clerics, they're head cases. They're head cases altogether. I mean, there isn't any real devout Jewish religion, if there's any. There's only a kind of a religion. There's a sort of devout Catholic, but since the Crusades it has been peaceful. But some of the Iranians, some of the mullahs are the mad fellas. Now, I remember the Shah was there, and in 1979 they overthrew him. And they put in there Ayatollah Khomeini, and they were banging their chests and all like that. So the Revolutionary Guard took over, and I think they called them the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. Anyway, Netanyahu felt there was too slow a progress on the talks, or he felt maybe the talks would only result in some kind of cheating, and so he's attacked them big time. Now, Iran has fired back, and if you go on social media, you will hear and see videos saying that Iran is winning too. They have definitely dealt an unbelievable heavy blow to Israel, and particularly Tel Aviv, the capital. And they've done a lot of damage, so it's not all one-sided. However, all I can tell you is I think Israel has the upper hand, right? Now, Iran's nuclear plans are underground. They're very deep underground. And while Israel has bombed a lot of them and done a lot of things, they've got conventional attacks, they have managed to kill an awful lot of the Revolutionary Guard generals and the security people and the people who make the bombs, the scientists. How they managed to get them, I don't know. I read somewhere today they were told not to wipe out all their social media accounts and all this crack because they could be tracked via it. You'd think they'd be that safe. Like, I'm only a farmer with cows and I have a phone, an old Duro, and I will only talk to people that I don't know. If somebody knows me and there's something confidential, no way would we talk on this. They're listening stuck there listening, and they have it that when my phone rings, it records, and when it stops recording. So while you get me ringing up the AI man to order a service for a cow or a vet or something or a man to bale hay, you'll get no confidential stuff on this. You'd want to be a head case. And if there was a war in the morning, I wouldn't carry this at all. I'd put this somewhere else. And they're able to hit them and take them out. And they're able to have spies in there. So the Israelis and Mossad, which is their intelligence services, I mean, they really are a class act. Now, the Israelis believe that they could take out the head buck Khomeini, the head buck cat. And the word is Trump wouldn't let them. Maybe Trump feels the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. And if Iran gets a good trouncing, maybe they'd come back to the negotiating table. And at least this fella might pack a bit of punch, and they might be able to get some kind of a deal. Because I do believe that Trump wants a deal. And he's the first one ever. If he got that going and got a good deal going, now I know it's a very tall order, it'd be some achievement. If he was the president that brought about peace in the Middle East, I mean, nobody have ever succeeded this. And you know, that's the kind of him. He's a strange man. I have a great time for him, as you know. He's a strange man, and sometimes things go funny that way, and he could. But anyway, for the moment, I'd say he didn't want them to take out take out Khomeini, because maybe that was the reason. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. Now, Iran, a lot of the high brass is gone now out to Iran, and Trump has told the people to get out. Now imagine a big city like Dublin being told you have to get out. Now it's warmer than here, you could stay out at night, but imagine that. Imagine having to leave your place. If any of them had cows or horses, leave all. So it looks like a huge attack is imminent. Now I'm going to speculate, and you can say what you like. America has a bunker buster. And this is a massive bomb. There's a smaller one and there's a bigger one. And this is designed to hit underground facilities. Now, it's not true that they can design a bomb that will go straight through concrete, steel, and concrete, steel. The way you hide that is you build it underground in a cave, or you make a cave where you dig in, and then you put layers of concrete, reinforced concrete, layers of stone, layers of soft sand, layers of stone, layers of concrete. And no material on earth is tough enough to stick that. It'll break it off. It's the very same as if you're using an angle grinder to cut steel. You will cut steel with the angle grinder, but the angle grinder blade will wear away at twice the speed of the steel. So if you could have a bunker buster bomb that could wear going down, but it won't wear long enough. So what it actually does is it goes in a piece. And then if you let it through concrete, the impact will destroy the detonation of the explosives and the detonation as well. So essentially what this bomb does is you let it off outside the entrance, and it blows out in all directions, increasing the pressure all out. I'll say 150 yards. Don't hold me on that. It blows out, increasing the pressure inside in the cave to a very, very high pressure. I don't know how many, but it could be 100 bar. A bar is 1 atmosphere. So 1,400 pounds. Anyway, we're not going into the exact maths. But it puts up an awful pressure. If you're inside and you're a living being or you're a mouse or anything else, that impact will kill you. The next thing is, as the pressure is built up inside in the bunker or the place where the bomb is, as the pressure builds up, when the bomb is finished, it flies out again. And when it rushes out, it leaves a vacuum. And that vacuum can damage your body. In other words, your lungs are working in reverse. So the blood and that in your lungs is after getting pushed out, and then it's getting a push in. It's a horrific bomb. Nobody has that, only America. But the Russians have other missiles, very hypersonic missiles, but they don't have that one. And I'd say that what's happening is Trump was asked by Israel to use this bomb in their places, and I'd say that's what's going to happen. So I'll predict that. Look, I'm only guessing. You can't just hold me. My job is to bring it to your attention that you'll be a bit wiser before than after. Now, I'm going to show you a clip. This one reminds me of one of them Sinn Féin women with that jeep on them. Well, I'll just show you here. Now, I haven't a clue what she's saying. It's certainly not the Gaelic language, and it's not English. She's obviously a Muslim woman. And she reminds me an awful lot of Michelle O'Neill, that one, and she looked very like her. She's Mary Lou would be a bit older, and she reminds me of them big time. The ones be going around sympathising with all the Muslim migrants looking for the vote. That's what it seems to be. But anyway, I want to show you now. This one is she's inside in the studio, and she's given a bit of a talk, and she's not complimenting Israel. And wait till you see what actually happens. And this is true. This is not false. This is true. Right, here we go, folks.
متجاوز به خاک وطن، صدای متجاوز به صدای حق و حقیقت است. آنچه که ملاحظه کردید، صدایی که شنیدید، فضای غبارآلوده استدیو
I put the crow off her, and they have to bring Allah into everything. All he could do is shout. Now, I've been checking out there, and I think that woman did not die. I think that someone in the building did die. I think another woman, possibly a researcher or something there, or a film woman or something, was killed in that attack. Now, Israel killed the former closest to the leader, and now they've killed the fellow that replaced him. And the Israelis have warned anyone taking the job of the replacement, that'd be the top military man next to the supreme leader, that he's in great danger and he should not take the job. So they're clearly able to target these people on unbelievable grounds. If you look at Michael Collins and read the books on him, the British could never get his people. They couldn't get him. He was riding a bicycle. See, I'd say these guys is going around in big cars and big flags and everything on it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just mentioned. Now, Trump was at the G7 meeting in Canada. And it used to be G8. But they kicked out Russia, which in my view was stupid. And they hate Russia in Europe. And Trump says if they hadn't to kick out Russia, things would be a lot better. It used to be the G8. So they had their meeting. Trump went to it all right, but he cancelled it. He was 2 days to go. It's supposed to be 2 days, and he only did one. So he's truly telling the G7 what he thinks of them. They're not at the races at all. And so what they were trying to get them to do there was approve the EU and Canadian sanctions against Russia to bring the oil embargo down. It's currently $60 is the maximum they can legally charge according to the West. That doesn't hold at all. But they want it brought down to 45, and Trump says, I'm not going into that. That's nonsense. Why are you all after Russia? You're only damaging your own economy. Now, the EU stupids cannot understand, or the G8 cannot get their heads around this thing, that sanctions actually penalises them because it penalises and has destroyed their own economies. So the whole impetus of the entire West is to get the Americans along, and we are very lucky to have Donald Trump. Not so much that he's a genius, but he just doesn't go along with it. They're used for since 1914. The West is used to being able to get the Americans to come on side with everything. And if they had to get Kamala Harris, they had that done. But they have Trump. And Trump just humped off back. Now, if you think of it now, we don't know what's going to happen there. But you look at Zelensky and the Ukraine. Isn't it quite clear now that his time has run out? Trump has too much on his plate. He has to decide now, will he give this big bomb to Israel? He has to try and see, could he recover some type of peace talks from the Iranian regime? There's talk that they have asked for a meeting, or they've asked to try and bring a ceasefire. And he has to juggle all that. And that is a difficult thing to do. He appears to be using a bit of restraint, a bit of carrot and stick. But I'd say he knows. I don't think he's out for glory or a Nobel Peace Prize. But I actually think that if he could say, I solved the Middle East problem, like the whole world would have to turn and say, fair play to you. And I'd say that's what's going on there. And in that, the Ukraine doesn't count for tiddlywit. And the problem is, if the Americans get dug in, they'll have to drop this bomb. Their planes. I don't think the Israelis can do it. And that could bring boots on the ground. And if Putin gets the Americans into Iran, he'll take Kiev. So America can't fight in Iran and in Russia, in Kiev and Ukraine at the same time. And if they get caught up there, the next thing is the Chinese could hit Taiwan, could invade Taiwan. And if Taiwan is invaded and Ukraine is invaded, Kiev, and Iran is invaded as it is, well, America would be fighting on three fronts, and I'd say it would fail. So very, very careful measures have to be taken. I think he's going to drop the big bomb and take out the nuclear facilities. And then he's going to say, right, now let's talk. That'd be the sensible way to do it. Now, they have enough nuclear stuff to make 9 nuclear bombs, and any one will take Israel out if it gets through. And they also have the material for a dirty bomb. That's a conventional bomb with nuclear enriched uranium around it. And if that lands into Tel Aviv, that'd put that city out of action. It'd be unhealthy. So it is a serious thing. We are in an unbelievable serious situation. So right, that's 18 minutes, and that's the bad news, and I'm sorry for having all this news, but how can a channel that dwells in real news not give you the real news? I mean, the world could be gone in an hour, and you see a big flash somewhere and tonight, and that'd be it. But here's the thing, just go back 2013. Climate change. Oh, Greta, oh, you've stolen my childhood. How dare you? Are the two plats here? And this is what they were raving on about. And diversity, equity and inclusion. Oh, you have to have your military. You have to have a certain amount of lesbian women and lesbian gay male women and lesbian female women. And you have to have men that's bisexual, and you have to have them all flying the planes, and you have to have all this. And that's all was bothering them. And windmills. Oh, we have got to build windmills, so we got to. And that's all was bothering them in 2014. And that continued on. And they were so engrossed in it. They could have done something perhaps about Russia invading the Crimea. They could have given that a lot of push, but they couldn't. They believed the world was going to fray. And they were bringing out the carbon tax. And now they have another rule out in Europe that you have to have this due diligence And the Irish are pushing back against it, that if you sell a thing into the EU, you have to produce a written report that you employ homosexuals of all kinds. You have to have lads with fishnet tights flying your Air Corps planes. You have to show that your public services is diversity, equity and inclusive. You have to have a good share of migrants. You have to give all your houses to the migrants. And this is what they're doing. This is outrageous. But that's the thing. And I was a policeman for a while. I'm gone, retired 20 years. And when there'd be peace in the country, the Garda superintendents and chief superintendents, they'd go bananas. They'd think they'd come up with an idea and they'd try to push this. And it'd be a crazy idea. I'll tell you some of them again. And they'd push this on the unfortunate people. And that they wouldn't leave good enough alone. The guards might be here and they might be catching an odd fella for no tax, no insurance, raiding an odd pub and keeping a reasonable level of control on their town. No, that's not good enough. They wanted more, they wanted more, they wanted more. Ned Garvey was the commissioner way back, about 1987 or thereabouts, Ed Garvey. And he wanted every guard to have 200 summonses. To have 200 summonses in every court issued. That meant you'd have to go out and stop every car, block them coming out of lanes, look and see could you find any small fault. And there wasn't as many faults that time as there was now, but there was some. Any lad going home with a bottle, well, that'd be drink driving, I suppose, but it wasn't as big that time, and anything, and crime and everything. And you had to have 200. Well, under that circumstances, you couldn't really live as a policeman. That was oppressive conduct. You were supposed to be a community policeman. The regional commissioner said, you know, we're an unarmed police. We police with the consent of the community. And Garvey done everything he could. He was a Fine Gael lad to make sure you didn't have to consent. And then the IRA started bombing. There was a bomb up in Dundalk. There was unfortunate people in Monaghan and Dublin. There was bombs all over the place. The IRA were running riot and the government had to tell him, you may forget about that. And the next thing, he issued a report when the IRA kidnapped some fella, stop summoning people. So when you have trouble, you have comfort in the job you're in. And when you don't have trouble, you have these people coming along and coming up with these mad, crazy ideas. Climate change baloney, net zero, windmills, solar panels, more and more electricity, and the government falls for this hook, line and sinker. So this trouble is part of the human nature to have war, and it's part of the human nature that authorities will exceed their power, jailing people for saying the rosary and all of that. And that's the balance that's struck. You have the lunacy that the people will vote for, without a doubt. And we'd be out stopping them for no insurance and no, well, maybe other things, tax up a few days. In Garvey's time, we'd have to fill the book and they'd be voting Fianna Fáil and they'd be giving out to us, oh, you're very strict, you didn't have to do me for that. And they'd go in and vote for the very same Fine Gael minister that told Garvey to do it. And this is why I could see throughout my life that the whole thing goes to the ballot box. How you deal with that is the big question. I'm only off the phone to a person there the other day, today, about this same thing and identifying this. And you get people trying to tell me that, I want you to understand what's wrong. I don't need to be told what's wrong. I want someone to come up with the solution, and nobody has ever done it. How do you get people to change their vote? Ireland should be separate from all this. We should be shutting off our borders. We have to let people in and out from the UK. This idea of the EU has been a total disaster. We have to get out of it as quick as we possibly can, but that's not going to be easy. Okay, folks, that's a lot. It's such worrying times. So I'd say that big bomb will be dropped, say Friday. Trump had to come back from the thing. Now, he didn't maybe have much heart being there anyway, but he had to come back. And Macron was going to get America to go with their sanctions against Russia, and he's there now and he got nothing. And they're over there now having a bowl of soup and a bun, and they have no, might as well be idlers talking to Trump. Trump is dealing with this. making a huge decision, sweating over it, bringing in his people, bringing in his cabinet. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think, Marco? Will we do it? What do we do? What are we going to do? And he's going to consult with his people. And he's going to form a consensus, and he's going to form an opinion as an intelligent man. Oh, they all say, oh, the Orden's moron. Oh, he's the Orden's moron. The lefties. Oh, the dumbhead and all that. He's no dumbhead. He's no dumbhead at all. But he's probably not going to let the Israeli state go. He's not going to let it collapse. He's going to hit Iran very hard, and he's going to then try some type of settlement when he has them down. Meanwhile, the dam could burst in Ukraine. They're never going to get him in there again. He's going to dump them. Let Zelensky, he'll be shot, I'd say, or something, or he'll run. And the trouble is, China could take advantage. So when the cat's away, the mice can play. Have I done a good video? 26 minutes. I know it's a bit long, folks. I mean, I just have to make these because the thing is going nuts. It's gone mad, gone mad. We'll see you back soon. Bye-bye.